So, who here has dreamed of a world where you could take a picture and have it available the minute you take that picture to anyone around the world or immediately secured on your device and accessible to your teams? Who's dreamed of that world? I think most of us here, right? Well, this is what we're going to talk about because this world is here and now and available. So we have a lot to talk with you about today, and we're really excited to get in this discussion with you. So for me, my name is Shawn McDaniel. I'm a content producer at Frame.io. I run our virtual events program, but I worked in the video world a lot. I worked as a video editor. I also shoot video. And this photo world has been new and exciting for me, and I'm really excited to talk with you all today. But I'm also joined by...
Hi, I am Yolanda Hoskey. I am a portrait photographer from Brooklyn, New York. My areas of excellence are fashion photography, photojournalism, and street photography.
So we are here to talk about Frame.io. And who's heard of Frame.io or worked with it before? I saw an enthusiastic hand up. Any others? Any other folks? All right, well, let's level set a little bit, and let's talk about what exactly Frame.io is. So the big question is, what is Frame.io? Well, Frame.io is a place where you could put all of your creative assets, not even just your creative assets, but all of your media with a project. You could put your Word documents, you could put your project files up there, but also your photo and your video assets in one place. Because who's working on all kinds of different formats? Dropbox, maybe Google Drive. And it's really tough to work with your creative partners because they're on all these different systems, and it's really hard to send things. I mean, who sent pictures through text message or Slack? And, it's hard to get that information across, and the files are too large. What happens on email? You got to put it in some kind of server to send it out somewhere. Well, with Frame.io, you're able to have your entire creative team, or whoever you allow as the account owner, to come into Frame.io and work with those assets in one place. But not only is this a place to store your assets, it's also a place to comment and annotate on those assets so that your creative team can be in one central location and get all the feedback and notes on a project anywhere around the world. So Frame.io is a mobile application, so you're able to use it on a web app, so anyone who has the access to internet and a computer browser can access Frame.io. But we also have an iOS app that's available for the iPad and iPhone. And again, Frame.io has been very much a video-based company, so we have integrations with Premiere Pro and After Effects, as we are an Adobe company. But for any video folks in the crowd, we have Final Cut Pro 10 and Resolve. But now that we're entering into the photo world, we have an integration with Capture One, and we're really excited to see where this world's going to open up. But we're going to talk a little bit today about camera to cloud, because this is what I was talking about before, where you're going to have immediate backup, immediate access for all your teams to be able to access those photos and start working with those photos, start editing those photos, and give you a quick and fast turnaround for your clients. But I want to go through a little bit of history lesson here, and we're going to talk about milestones that we've made, and we've all made these adjustments over the years. And I think we're going to have a little fun with this. So I like to talk about 20 years ago, all of us had CRT televisions. And if you don't know what a CRT television is, it's the big giant TVs with the big glass front, and it's got the rear projection. And I remember as a kid, I had one of those, and I remember the screen used to go really bright white, and it would make this really loud noise. And, over time, we've eventually moved to flat screen televisions. And now everyone has a flat screen TV. We went from plasma, now we're at LED, now we're at OLED, and we've made that shift, I would say, about 20 years ago. The next big shift was moving from film to digital removable media. And a lot of us still probably shoot on film, but now it's become kind of a hobby or, something that's kind of a collector's item for us or something that we really respect and love because film ultimately is just a beautiful medium. I think we can all agree on that. But times have changed. We had to be more efficient. We had to be able to quickly transfer those files. We can't wait for 24-hour return on photos anymore. We need those assets now to start working with them. So this was a huge monumental shift in our industry. Here's another big one, manual focus to autofocus. There was a lot of folks saying that when we got to autofocus, that was going to be the end of creative photography. But now a lot of us rely on automatic focus, and a lot of us really utilize that as part of our photo process. And of course, our last one is going from SDR to HDR. I don't think there's a single television you could buy in the world that does not have HDR attached to it. Or the pictures that we take, having those HDR colors and vibrancy that we have in our pictures, we don't work any other way anymore. And we're moving into that kind of world as we go along. So this is a good kind of look back of where we've made some major monumental milestones. So what's workflow going to look like in 2033? Well, we're feeling like cloud-first workflows are going to be a huge way we're going to interact. Think about when you take a picture on your iPhone or on your Android device. A lot of those pictures go up to a cloud system anyway. It's just part of something that we do. So why can't our professional creative work the same way? Well, we believe by 2033, there's going to be absolutely no removable media in our cameras. You're going to have an internal storage device inside of your camera that you're going to be able to store your pictures, but they're going to be immediately available in the cloud. And that's where we feel like we're going to go. But here's where we're at right now. In 2023, we're still relying on drives. And we're hoping to bridge that gap using Frame.io Camera to Cloud to get to that point at some point in 2033. That's just kind of our prediction. So let's talk about a collaboration. Oh, sorry, one slide ahead. So what does C2C look like? Well, in essence, Frame.io does not touch any of your files. We don't alter them, we don't change them. So C2C is kind of the center of where you're going to get your files from one place to another. So C2C is the center. We've got our camera on the left, we got Frame.io on the right, and those JPEG and RAW files, those same ones that you took on your camera, are going to be available inside of Frame.io. And the nice thing is with the Fujifilm X-H2 and X-H2S, you also have your video assets can do the same exact thing. Again, we were a video company, now we're moving into photos, and we saw a huge monumental shift in how video makers make their films and movies and media. And now photos, we're seeing the same thing. So this is kind of a quick look at how that kind of moves along. But let's look at a collaboration revelation here. These are all points that we've dealt with for so many years. We're on set, we're on location, we're on a photo shoot. We have to capture and get that footage and media. We have to download it. We have to move it to another hard drive. A lot of times we have to back up that media. And then if you're on a shoot that's kind of remote or far away, how do you get that to your editorial team? Well, you got to ship that hard drive. You got to ship those SD cards, all those express cards out. And you're putting your hands in a shipping service or a courier service. And you spend a lot of time and energy creating these assets, whether you're doing it for a huge client or you're doing pictures and having fun with your friends and trying to have an immediate backup. All of that is part of shipping, and we want to eliminate that process. But then when you get that drive where it needs to go, a lot of times you have to download that again, pull your selects, and then finally, you're inside of your editorial process. But with Camera to Cloud, we want to eliminate all of that in the middle and get you directly from set to your editorial or your photo shoot to editorial. We want to make that happen and get rid of all this stuff in the middle. Because a lot of times when you're shooting and you're taking pictures, it's really hard to communicate with the editorial team because they're either somewhere on location or they're somewhere else, and it's hard to kind of bridge that gap. So we're trying to put it all together. So the next evolution of Camera to Cloud is internal. And Fujifilm has definitely taken advantage of this, and we're so excited to be in partnership with them to be able to get those creative assets to the cloud immediately. So as I said before, the X-H2 and the X-H2S models will allow you, with the hand grip attached, will allow you to upload those files directly to Frame.io using either Ethernet, the hand grip can plug in Ethernet, or you can use Wi-Fi, or if you have cellular internet service on location on set, you can connect it that way as well. Now, we have a direct integration inside the camera, so once you select the option inside the camera, there's a Frame.io selection. You can choose which file types you want to upload, and boom, they're immediately to the cloud. You can do your JPEGs, your RAW files, but as well as your Apple ProRes files, and your proxy files will go up as well. And just a quick look at what it looks like in the camera. You can choose your file types and what ones you want to upload and include into your Frame.io workflow. But a big question everybody has is, what about data? What about networking? What if I'm somewhere remote where I don't have internet? Well, we've got solutions, and we want to help you along the way. And we understand that there are some limitations on that. But we have some partners that we work with, two of which are Scalera Digital and First Mile Technologies. They provide really robust satellite antennas and bonded cellular units that you can connect your cameras to while you're on set. But you can also use your mobile phone. you can hotspot it to your device, and you can have internet wherever you're at. You can also use a MiFi box. There's a lot of options for that as well. So I want to actually get into the demo of this, and I want to bring Yolanda back out. But there is a video I do want to show you all, which is a great video that Fujifilm put together to kind of show how this process really works in the real world. So we're going to go and hit play on this.
Hi, I'm Yolanda, and today we are filming the Flower Project, which is my interpretation of femininity through flowers. It's very important that I leave set today with a list of selects and possible final images because I have a 4-day deadline. I am filming this project to submit to a gallery for an exhibit going up in a few days. So today I'm really excited because we're going to use camera to cloud, and my technique today will be my second eyes on everything.
My name is Nicholas Johnson. Today I am the camera tech on set for Yolanda. I'll be assisting her in making sure we're moving efficiently. And today we're using Fujifilm's native camera to cloud integration on XH2 to get photos into Frame.io.
I'm going to capture as many images as possible, and I've instructed Nick to call out imperfections in the image. Now I'm less worried about going home and having to look through thousands of images because I've already picked my selects while I'm capturing them.
Before the camera to cloud app, I would literally be here with a big tower. Yolanda would typically be tethered, so she would have a long cord coming from her camera straight into the computer. As a photographer, that kind of prohibits you. It was really simple, honestly. It provides a code, you type the code in, and from there you're literally hooked up. I sent everybody an invite through their email, and now your collaborators have their access to that folder so that now you can see these digital files as they populate.
I have never been on a set where I am able to get retouched images while I am still capturing. So that was an amazing feature for me. It also helped my entire creative team. My gaffer, my set designer, my makeup artist, my hairstylist were all able to sit in different locations in the studio but still view the images from the project folder as I was capturing them.
I wish I had this capability on all the sets that I work on because it makes sense. Just being able to look at my phone, look at my model, fix what I need to fix, and I'm like, yes.
The retoucher that I love to work with is currently working on another production, but I really needed these images because I'm on a tight timeline. Through the camera to cloud function, I was able to add them to the project folder, and they were able to live edit and retouch my images no matter us not being in the same geographic location, which was amazing.
Our retoucher, he's not even on site, but we're able to have markups. I'm able to make notes, annotations, and send that file straight to him where it's almost as if he's like literally right here with me. She's shooting, I'm sending notes, I'm saying, yo, hey Alan, like I need this and that taken out.
Oh, looks like he got a photo coming back. We're not even finished here yet, and I already have a photo back. Hold on.
Now I'm nervous.
Oh my God.
Look at the color in the background.
Wait, that's happening now?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the app. This is sick.
It's like he was here. He knew exactly how to color
Exactly.
Lights in the back.
So we're all in agreement
Yeah.
it's fire?
Well, I love that video. I think it really captures the entire moment with this, but who better to talk about it than Yolanda? I want to bring her out here. Hello, Yolanda.
Hello, hello, hello. So in that video, I actually got the opportunity to test camera to cloud out before it was released to the public. I'm a person who loathed tethering my camera to a device because I just felt like as a portrait photographer, I like to move around, I like to be in the moment, and I find that the wires are always restricting. So after we did this project, I was obsessed and hooked and convinced that camera to cloud would completely revolutionize my creative workflow. More recently, it's summertime. I've been tapped to do a lot of event photography. Has anyone in here done event photography or? Okay, so we know when we're doing event photography, usually we have super quick turnaround times and deadlines, and people want assets, if not same day, next day. And typically, can anybody say like what the process is? Are we running and dumping photos periodically throughout the day, and how much time that takes to do that? So recently, I worked with a client shooting a music festival. And they had never heard of camera to cloud and what this feature was. I had a deadline of 150 colored images by the next morning. I was making those images for the festival was 10 hours. I was making those images for 10 hours. It ended at night, and I was like, wow, when am I gonna have time to sleep? So I told the client, I was like, hey, I actually use this integration with my Fujifilm camera where you can view, upload, note which images that I'm taking as I'm taking them, you want me to color pass. So I created an individual link, I shared it with the client, and said, as I'm making these images, you will see them populate in this folder, and you can let me know which images are being approved. I think they were a little skeptical when when I first said that, but by the first hour, after the first 100 images came into Frame.io, I had 5 people walk up to me and ask for the link because they had content creators who were offsite who needed access to these images for their own social posts. They had the client who hired them who wanted to review the images in real time. So I introduced this integration to this company who was like, why weren't we doing this before? But I feel like I can show you guys, first of all, this is my work. Just wanted to show that, yay! XH2, I use the XH2 for these images. But I feel like I want to show you guys better than I want to tell you guys, so I'm gonna invite a model up here, and we're gonna play around and use Camera to Cloud in real time.
And as you can see, I've got Frame.io up, and these pictures are coming through as she's taking them. And we're just doing JPEGs now, but like I said, you can do your RAW and JPEG files. But I really encourage you, if you are accessing the app, if you have Frame.io already downloaded, it'll just open the app for you, but otherwise you can open it up through a browser. And yeah, is anybody having trouble? You need me to bring the QR code back up? There we go. But I encourage everyone to give it a try. Even folks out there in the audience, go and pull out your phones, be a part of that process. But I would love to see some comments and some annotations in there. We're going to see if maybe, if you all can leave some notes, maybe like, maybe a higher or lower shot, or maybe closer or further away, something that Yolanda would be able to work with. And we can kind of show you how this collaboration process kind of works. Everyone got it? QR codes? Does anybody need a QR code back up over there? Okay, got some hands. Go for it. And as she's taking these pictures, they're just kind of uploading and populating and available. And I'd love to see some comments. I will give a shout out to anyone who gives a comment first here. But in a minute, we may actually turn it around and take some shots of y'all and show you how quickly it's available. Plus, you can download these files as well. And she's taking them directly from the camera. They'll be available on your phone. You can download them immediately into your device.
Okay.
How's it looking? Is it queuing up there?
Yeah.
All right, who's able to access the link? Everybody in there? All right, let's see if we get some annotation or some notes in there. And I could show you on the screen how to do that. So if we want to actually go in, I've got Frame.io up here. I'm going to say, let's try a higher angle. Okay, so I can actually go ahead and hit enter. And that pops in on the right-hand side. But I've got an option to not just do comments, but I can do annotations as well. So I can say, I don't know, can we brighten this up? And I'm going to add a little annotation button. It's available on the app as well if you guys are on there or on the browser. And if you want to just select like a color, you can even draw on the screen. You can do a little circle. You can even do multiple annotations. So if I want to do a big arrow, if I want to be super passive-aggressive, I can do that. And then once I hit send, that appears over there on the right-hand side. So if any of you are in this asset, there we go. There we go, Rick. Beautiful, I love that. Let's leave some annotations. I want to show you how the all annotations features work. So I'm going to say, let's try to, let's say punch in a little. There we go. And I can actually set like reframe guides here. So I've got some other tools. So if I want to actually create like a little lasso here and be like, you know what, let's try and take the shot a little tighter. I could do that and hit send. Now, what's really cool is that the fact that all of you are able to go in, leave your annotations and notes, and it's all in one place, and it's super accessible. I didn't have to have any of you sign up for a plan or create an account. You're able to just leave those notes and annotations. And what you're looking at now is something called a review link. And these are really, really vital when you want to send it out to your stakeholders or your clients. They're able to go in and leave those comments and annotations on here. But more importantly, if you have a remote editorial team, they can go in and access these comments as well. So we have a little button there on the top called All Annotations, and that allows me to see all annotations at once on my image. I can also zoom in. I've got some zoom in options here. I can quickly fit wide and fit width of my image. If I hit shift, I've even got a little loop tool in here that I can jump in, and I can view my photos, my raw photos, directly inside of Frame.io without any issue. So let me go back. I'm going to check some other assets and see if there's any other comments in there. But I want to include you all in this. Who would love to get a picture taken and get a download of that right now? Go for it. Yeah. If you want to hop up, yeah, by all means. You can just see how easy and quick it is to make this kind of work and happen for everyone on your team.
Color or black and white?
Here, let's see this comment here.
Color or black and white?
I want to see some other comments come in. There we go, Jenny. That's a great comment. I like that one. Which one's Jenny?
I love it.
All right, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else want a picture? Come
Like
up,
how many
yeah.
can it hold? Yeah. It's all dependent on internet, and Yolanda's taking a lot of pictures at once, so it just kind of queues up. And the internet, it's, you know, with a lot of folks in here, it can kind of slow down a little bit, but you could just basically take your pictures. And what happens too, what's really interesting, if you lose internet or you drop your signal, the camera to cloud system is intuitive, and it knows this, and it queues up your pictures so that the minute you're back online, it'll refresh and be available for you. Now, if some of you are on the app, you can hit refresh too, and they'll populate. I might even do the same.
I love it. You're welcome. Anybody else want pictures?
All right, I want to jump in here.
Yeah.
Can I just check the queue on there really quickly? Yeah, the internet's a little wonky in here. But she's going to connect back, and the minute she gets back on the internet, it's going to go ahead and upload those other photos. Well, that's what I'm saying. Removable media, meaning that your SD cards, your Express cards, there's not going to be any removable media. We feel like the storage is going to be internal in the cameras. So, I mean, much like we do now, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I pulled out an Express card and put it in slide. I usually just plug it in with the USB-C cable. So we're already kind of doing that as it is. Exactly. Yeah, that's where we feel like it's going to become at some point. But that's up to camera manufacturers and the industry itself to kind of move that forward. But that's just kind of what we're thinking is going to happen. Because, you know, immediate cloud backup is going to be really vital, and it's going to be really interesting to see all the use cases of that as it kind of grows along. But as you can see, since she hooked up back on the internet, those photos that were taken a while ago are now starting to populate. We had lost internet there for just a second, but we're trucking right along. But I'm happy to answer more questions as we kind of go along. Yes? Yeah, so right now, Frame.io is, we team up with Amazon AWS, so everything's in there. But Frame.io is very big on security, and we have security certificates that protect against that. And a lot of our certificates work with large companies that support that. So I can actually take you to our security page, and I can show you that we've got all the certifications that will allow you to have all your content safe. We have like TPN certification, which is kind of a motion picture certification. We're TPN Plus certified. So we've got those security protocols. But the key thing is, too, you control who has access to your content. You know, you could bring on those team members or collaborators. You know, our enterprise plans offer secure sharing as well as watermarking abilities as well. So we have security protocols depending on the client that you're working with. Right. So the question is if the photos can go directly into a computer instead of a cloud service. Right now, it's going to go into Frame.io, and it would live there until you download that locally. So the Frame.io would be the conduit to allow you to have that in your computer wherever you're at.
But is it written to the card simultaneously as well?
That's a great question. So the question was, when you take your pictures and they go to the cloud, are they still on the camera? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a redundancy that's there. So this is almost like a security backup, but also, you know, a creative option as well. But yes, your photos and videos are stored locally on the device. Yeah, so once it goes into the cloud, it will stay there, but you have the app available. So as those pictures are coming in, I can go into my account. In fact, I can pull it up right here, and if I want to delete a picture, I can absolutely do that. keep those photos up. There we go. We got some goodies in there. Ooh, we got a little black and white going on. Look
Yeah,
at that.
I switched.
I love it. But yeah, so you could delete your pictures and stuff right through the app if you need to. We've got storage plans that are available. So if you go with a Pro plan, that comes with 2 terabytes, and then a Team plan comes with 3 terabytes. So you get a nice chunk of storage in there. But also, for any of you that have Creative Cloud subscription, since we are an Adobe company, if you use your Adobe Creative Cloud credentials, you can log in and actually get the included plan, which comes with 2 users, 5 different projects, 100 gigs of storage. But the big thing is that it's enabled for Camera to Cloud. So if you have the Fujifilm X-H2 and X-H2S with the hand grip, you're off to the races. Yes, there's a great feature inside of the X-H2, inside of these 2 cameras, where you can have auto transfer off, but manually transfer pictures if you'd like to. No, you can actually set a hot. There's just to remind everyone, the question is, are you able to select which pictures you want to transfer to Camera Cloud versus just having the whole lot? And yes, there is an option to where you can manually transfer the photos that you want. Super easy. There's a hot button that you can kind of assign, and it's all within the Frame.io menu system inside the camera. That's a great question. So the question is who is able to delete or probably just manipulate or work with the content inside of the account? Well, we've got 2 different user types. We've got a team member and a collaborator. Team members kind of have a little bit more access. They're able to access all projects, but collaborators you can actually assign to be in particular projects. And with that role type, they're not able to do certain functions, and one of those things is deleting files. So again, you have a lot of ability to pick and choose what user type you want to have access in the project. And also, if you want to just send out a review link or a presentation link like we're doing with this QR code, you can actually control what people are able to see and not see. And they don't even have to be on the account either. So the question is can you integrate this with other storage systems? And yes, we have integration. So Frame.io is committed to having an open ecosystem, and Fujifilm is one of our camera partners that we have right now, but we have integrations with many other video cameras, apps, all related to the industry. And we have integrations with Zapier, and Zapier will open up the door to Google Drive, maybe even Dropbox, and you can push those assets to other storage systems if you need to. So that is an option that's available. Any other questions? And also questions for Yolanda as well. She's got an amazing amount of work that she's done, and she's a huge advocate for Camera to Cloud as well. So I want to make sure there's any questions to get thrown to her also.
When I was on set, it was literally having my makeup artist and my hairstylist like in different locations in the studio because they were prepping next looks. And they were looking at the images as I was taking them and running back in the room like, I need to adjust this. Don't take the next picture. This needs to be fixed. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Because usually on set, like, there'll be 30 people crowded around one monitor. And this kind of eliminates that because everybody can view from their phone or their tablet or their computer. Yeah, especially with, like, editing off-site or feeling like you need to have every person involved in the creative process with you on set. This kind of eliminates that because people can be remote. They can be in different cities. They can be in different countries, and everyone's seeing the same thing as it's happening in real time. So I thought that was really cool.
Well, once again, if there are no other questions, we do, take a look at Camera to Cloud, sign in with your Adobe Creative Cloud credentials. We've got some flyers out as well if you want to try a 1-month free trial of Frame.io. We absolutely would love to have you check it out. And, feel free to ask us any questions as you see us around. But thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.